Good evening, class. Wishing everyone a blessed day. So it's been a while that we've not been online. Um, so let's begin with the practice of centering. So let's lie down. And if you have a bolster, let's place a bolster underneath your knees to support your lower back. Using my elbows to crawl down. Notice how it feels to lie on your back. Some of you might have been at work or maybe working from home, being seated for some time or standing. And notice how it feels to be in a supine position where your back is rested. You're unloading the weight of your body into the floor. Let's begin with a body scan. Feel the presence of your feet. Feel the presence of your legs. Feel the presence of your hips. Notice your spine from your lower back, mid back, and the upper back. Notice your shoulders today. Notice your arms. Notice your thumb and your fingers. Notice your neck and your head. Notice your breath breathing. Notice the movement of your breath in your chest or in the abdominal region. Begin to breathe in through your nose mindfully And breathe out through your mouth by spouting your lips. Continue. Consciously feel the warm air coming out from your mouth and emptying your lungs. And the fresh in-breath expanding your lungs gently. One more cycle. Begin to move your toes and fingers. Bring your feet together. Raise your arms above your head and stretch your legs and arms away from each other. Relax. Roll to your preferred side and come to a seated position. If you have the bolster with you, we can sit on the bolster. Prop your hips slightly higher to influence your spine. Bring the palms in front of your chest with your chin parallel to the floor. Let's take a few who breaths here. Again, encouraging to be watchful of every breath. Learning to pause and slow down. Learning to be mindful, to become available, to become present to life at this moment. Let's begin by chanting 3 rounds of Om together. Breathe in. चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोतं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिम् हरिः ॐ. Breathe in. As we breathe out, we bow down to the divinity within. Disconnect your palms and rest your hands on your knees. Humbly raise your head up and open your eyes to look straight ahead. All right, class. Let's begin with an inquiry. My throat. That's going to develop a sense of standing asanas, loading the hips and side bends. See what are the warm-ups that we require, the ingredients that we require to bring expression or to explore standing asanas with lateral flexion. Let's stand at the top front of your mat. You can fold a blanket to pad your knees, or if you have knee pads, place them at the center of your mat. Standing at the top front of your mat, let's just do some arm drops to begin with. The idea of to release. Let's raise your arms up in line with the shoulders and drop. And wait till the arms stop moving. Pick up the next round and drop. As you drop, notice the sense of release. Breathe in. Breathe out. And drop. Continue a few more cycles in your own pace. Learning to let go. Whatever possibly that we are holding unknowingly, physically or mentally. One more cycle. So open your eyes, go into the arm pattern. Let's breathe and raise your arms up. As you raise your arms up, let's raise your heels up. Turn your palms out to the sides and bring your arms down, bring your heels down. Coordination between the arms and the legs. Breathe in, shoulder elevation. Breathe out, bringing the arms down, shoulder depression. One more cycle. Breathe in. Floating version of your Tadasana. And breathe out. Bringing the heels down. Posteriorly tilt your pelvis, nod your head down. Both ends of the spine is rounded. Back is longer than the front. Breathe into the back of your neck. As you breathe out, round your spine to the front. Notice the various sensations coming from the spinal flexion. Can your mind be available to that sensation? Any sensation, can you give yourself fully and feel? Reconnect the pubis to the navel, gently lifting the spine, unrolling the spine up, keeping your head down. Open your eyes. Let's raise your arms up. Let's go into the pendulum movement, double bend of the knees, and alternately cross the arms in front. One more cycle, class. And then from there, let's launch the heels up, shoulders to your ears. Breathe out, bringing your arms down, heels down. Posterior pelvic tilt. Nod your head down. The back is longer, front is shortened. Now, ragdoll, rounding the spine to the front. Try not to reach for the floor. Keep your sitting bones down towards your heels. Feel the front of the body contracting and the back body elongating. Reconnect the pubis to your navel and unroll the spine to come up. Breathe. Open your eyes, pendulum movement. Raise your arms up. Double knee flexion and alternately cross your arms in front freely. Dropping the arms, noticing how your arms relate to the gravitational force. One more cycle. And from there, let's launch the heels up, lifting the shoulders up towards your ears. Breathe out. Bring your arms in line with your shoulders. Bring your right arm down, raise the left arm up. I'm not mirroring you, so it is my left arm. From there, side bend. Notice one side contracting and one side elongate. Raise the left arm up. Let the left arm invite the shoulders over the hips. Left arm goes down, right arm ascends. One shoulder higher than the other, and from there, side bend. One side condensing and the other side expanding. Raise the right arm up. Right arm invites the shoulder over the hips. Let's explore. One more cycle. From elongation, vertical, and then we go lateral. Raise the left arm up. Left arm invite the shoulders over the hips. Vertical and lateral. Raise your right arm up. One more cycle. This time we add another expression to it. So let's vertically extend. Notice how your spine extends along with the arms lifting, and from there we flex. We side bend. Let's gently double bend the knees. Bend, bend, and straight. Bend, bend, and straight. Gently bend, bend, and straighten. So that little bend, that bounciness, can you feel as an impression here on the left side of the body? A little bounce. One more cycle. And from there, lift the left arm, inviting the shoulders over the hips. Vertically extend. Notice that extends the spine. Possibly the left shoulder might lift. Can you relax the left shoulder and then side bend? Knee, flex, flex, and extend. Flex, flex, and extend. So it's a little bounce, in fact. One more cycle. And then let's raise the right arm and come back to the center. Who breathe. Let's continue. Pendulum movement. Raise your arms up, shoulders up to your ears. Double flex your knees, alternately cross your arms in front. And from here, let's launch your heels up into the mount of your toes. Open your arms out to the sides. Flex your hips and knees coming into your chair pose. Let's stay there for a while, staying on the distal region. Your knees are pointing forward. Your spine is extended. Come further down, raise your arms up. Shoulder towards your ears. Let's open the arms. Place your hands down. Shift the weight into your hands. Raise your hips up. Release the back of your head down as a signal to the spine to follow the head. Who breathe. You might notice a difference in between the right leg and the left leg in terms of length or any kind of condition in terms of difference in between the right and left. Now flex the knees and extend. Bend and extend. And if you can't reach the floor, please feel free to place your hands on two blocks underneath your palms. One more cycle. Keep your knees bent. Let's shift the weight of your body to the left leg. Step the right leg back mindfully, and then step the left leg back. Downward facing dog. Let's lift your head and look at your palms. Spread your fingers by raising your palms off your mat and replacing them. Look at your palms, push the palms away from your legs, and then release the back of your head down. Tighten your elbows slightly and see if that helps you lift your hips away from your palms. And even if it's a minute expression, be available to it. Raise your heels up. Bring your sitting bones down and bring the shoulders over your wrist. High plank. From there, bring the knees down and point your toes back. Rest your hips on your heels, the child's pose. Press your shin bones Raise your hips, the angry cat. Raise the sitting bones up and extend the spine into your neck and head. From there, bring your hips back, sliding your palms forward, possibly. Continue from the child's pose to the cat, and cat into the galloping calf. Who breathe from the cat. Feel how you sort of get drawn into the hips before you launch the wave from the hips into the spine. Flexion, you roll the spine into the hips. In extension, the spine rolls out from the hips into the neck. One more cycle. We stay in the cat pose, class. Tuck your toes, raise your knees up, loading your arms. Push your hands away from the legs. Raise your heels up, double bend the knees and softly extend. One more cycle. And from there, let's step your legs as wide as your hips. Drop your arms from your shoulders and the head. Connect the pubis towards your navel and unroll the spine to come up. Who breathe to notice the response from the body. That your concern be mostly your feeling rather than the form. So you're not tightening the body, but you're softening to find your inner strength. Open your eyes. Let's continue with the pendulum movement. Raise your arms up. Double flex your knees, alternately cross your arms. One more cycle, and from there we launch the heels up. Open your arms to the side, Utkatasana, chair pose. Prayer position with your palms. Come further down as the hips comes down. Raise the shoulders up. Disconnect your palms. Bring your hands down. Shift the weight into your arms. Raise your hips up. Release the back of your head down. Who breathe. And as you who breathe, can you allow or feel? There are two things here. One is to feel and allow the heaviness of the head to invite the spine down. If you stay long enough, you can feel the heaviness of the head. So we're not opposing the heaviness of the head by lifting the head and contracting the back of the neck. From there, let's bend the knees, keeping the head down and extend softly. Bend and extend. One more cycle, class. Let's keep your knees bent. Shift the weight to the right leg. Step the left leg back. We're coming to a low lunge. Bring the left knee down, class. We are in a low warrior one, although the upper body is not in warrior one, so it is a low lunge. Lift the left leg up. Externally rotate the left leg. Okay? So my hip is facing the left. I'm going to windmill my arms and come to this Parigasana position. Right? Your arms are out to the sides. Let's move the hips to the right and over the left knee. Right and over the left knee. I sense that my knees are not on the blanket, so I'm going to place the knee pad on it. So hips moving to the right and then over the left knee. One more cycle and stay. Let's just do the arms. Left arm, pendulum, over your head, side bend. Pendulum, over your head, side bend. Pendulum, over your head, side bend. Let's accompany that with the hips, side bend. Hip and side bend. Lengthening the left and shortening the left side. So it's not only lengthening one side, it's two actions happening simultaneously. Loading the right leg and unloading. One more cycle, class. Let's stay in the side bend. Rest your right hand on your shin bone or your knees. Let the right femur go into the hips. Breathe into the left side of your torso. Open your arms, bring your hips over the knees. Raise your right heel up. Internally rotate the right leg and take your hips back. Round your back, stay there. If you need to place your hands on the floor, please do so for balance. Or if you have two blocks to support you, you can do that. For instance, I'm going to take two blocks here. If you find that this is challenging, you can have two blocks. From there, move the hips back and forward, gently. Back and forward. Or you can float the arms. Float the arms. One more cycle. Shift the weight into the left leg, come back. Windmill the arms. Raise the left leg up. Internally rotate. Lift the left knee. Step the right leg back. Can you notice a difference in between the left and the right side of your body? Who breathe. One more whole breath. From there, raise your heels up. Let's step the legs forward. Keep your feet as wide as your hips. Drape your arms from your shoulders and release the back of your head down. Breathe out. Let's bend the knees and extend the knees softly. Keep the heaviness of your head, or notice the heaviness of your head, leading your spine into a flexion. One more cycle. Keep the knees bent. Let's shift the weight into the left leg and step the right leg back. Bring the right knee down. You can have the knee pad for your knees. Raise the right leg up. Externally rotate the right leg. Right hand off the floor. Swing the right arm to come up into your Parigasana position, the gate position. Let's do the hip pattern. Move the hips to the left and over your right knee. To the left, over the right knee. Continue. One more cycle. Now the arm pattern. Pendulum, side bend. Pendulum, side bend. Pendulum, side bend. Now let's put both together. Hips, side bend. Hip and the side. Continue class in your own rhythm class. Mindfully. Reminder, so it's not about the quantity, the amount of times you repeat, but are you there in every movement, supporting the movement? Me time, are you there with yourself? Noticing the functionality of your body, the life force through your breath. So it's not about perfecting the body, but it's about noticing what is. One more cycle, and we stay in the side bend. You can rest the left arm. Breathe into the right side of your torso. Raise your right arm, bring your shoulders over the hips, raise the left heel up, internally rotate, and then we go into a hip flexion and extension, opening your arms out to the sides. If this is challenging, you can have your hands down, then moving the hips forward and back. Floating the arms. One more cycle, class. Shift the weight into the right leg. So windmill the arms, place the arms to the front of the mat. Internally rotate the back leg, lift the right knee, step the legs back. That is, explore downward dog now. One, by noticing the response coming from your body. Notice how your breath is breathing to accommodate the situation. Raise your heels up, double bend the knees, and softly extend. One more cycle. And from there, class, we step the legs forward as wide as your hips. Drape your arms from your shoulders. Release the back of your head down. Now reconnect the pubis towards your navel and unroll the spine to come up. We'll breathe. How do you feel? And be there with however the body is feeling. And open your eyes. So since we have been standing for some time, let's explore in a seated position how to shift the weight of the body, right? From one hip to the other hip. So let's begin with Baddha Konasana, the bound angle pose, with the soles of the feet together fairly, and the heels are slightly in a distance from your groin. So we're not keeping it tight, Baddha Konasana. Let's roll the hips from side to side. Feel that ability to rock from side to side, shifting the weight of the body. And now when you rock, can you stay on one side? How does it feel to stay? And then rock to the opposite side. How does it feel to stay? You can use your arms by floating the arms to the side, or you can clasp your hands. Let's stay. When you float, try to keep both the knees slightly off the floor. Of course, the left knee is, but can you take your right knee off the floor? The opposite side, so it's somewhere in between. You're trying to find your center. Float, rocking from side to side. Now let's rock to the left. Stay there. Now press the left thigh down. Raise the right leg up. How does that feel? Raise. So we are putting some amount of load into the hips, not into the knees or the ankles. Stay there. Let's internally rotate the right leg. This is my right leg. I'm not mirroring you. And then we lean the body to the left and take the legs to the right. So now we are loading the right hip, the right leg quite a bit. Stay there. Who breathe. Again, it's not about the form here. It's about your feeling. You can please place your hands on the floor if you need some balance, or you can clasp your hands or hover the arms out to the sides. From there, come back, externally rotate the legs, come back to the center. Who breathe? Now let's rock to the right. Stay. Lift your left leg up. Stay there. Internally rotate the left leg. And as your left knee extends, the body also extends to the opposite side. So we are loading the right hip and the right leg. Of course, the left buttock is contracting to hold the left leg up. Press the right thigh, come back to the center, hovering the left leg. And now let's bring the legs down. Who breathe? Let's try that again, class. Shift, roll to the left, lift the left leg up. Let's stay there. This time, let's explore with your arms in the aeroplane position, Vimanasana. Internally rotate, and then take the right leg back, extending the right knee. Shifting the weight of the body to the left side and looking down. Can you try to extend the right knee by pushing into the right heel? Notice what are the group of muscles that begin to fire up. Bend the right knee now towards your armpit and extend. Bend the right knee to your armpit and extend. You can place your hands on the floor if you feel that's too much of load. Bend the right knee to your armpit and extend. One more cycle. Bend. Let's come up. Externally rotate and come back. Notice what's happened to the right hip, how your right leg is responding right now. There possibly could be a difference in between the right leg and the left now. Full breathe. Feel the difference. Shift to the right, hips, hover the left leg up. We can Vimanasana your arms. Internally rotate, take the left leg to the left side. Notice how your torso goes to the right. Extend the left knee and flex. Continue, extend and flex in your own pace. You can place your hands on the floor for some amount of balance. One more cycle, class. Raise your torso, come up. Externally rotate the left leg. Come back to Baddha Konasana. Breathe in. Breathe. Now I think it's time to come out of your hips and let's do a downward dog. Let the hips be higher this time. So unloading the hips. Lift the hips away from the arms. Notice how that feels now for the hips to the buttocks to be high enough. It's not the base anymore. Now your palms and your feet is the base. Let's walk your legs forward or step your legs forward. Drape your arms from the shoulders. Connect the pubis to the navel gently. Unroll the spine to come up. Breathe. All right. So if you have two blocks with you, class, let's stack two blocks, one on top of the other. We are making a tiny chair, yeah? And we're going to sit on that tiny chair. So it's quite deep. It's a deep knee flexion and also a hip flexion. Can we possibly call this Malasana? So let's keep your feet as wide as your hips and also keep the feet turned out slightly, right? Now from there, let's just load into the heels. Can you lift your buttocks up? So if your heels are forward, you might not be able to lift your hips up because you can't load your legs. So you need to draw your heels back. your feet back so that you can load into the heels, and from there you can lift up. So let's clasp the hands in front, lean forward, feel how you're loading your legs, and lift your hips up, just maybe 1 or 2 inches off the block, and come down and lean back, being mindful. Shift forward, press your heels, lift. So you are pulling those inner thighs in, and bring your hips down and lean back gently. Breathe, lean forward, loading the legs. Lift. Let's stay there. Does that feel right for you to stay? If it doesn't feel right, retreat. Bring your hips down and rest your arms on your knees. Breathe, class. Shall we do another cycle? Clasp your hands in front. Lean forward, loading into the heels. Lift your hips up. Stay there. If that feels right to stay there, we are loading the weight of the body into the heels. From there, can we shift into the right heel, center, left heel, center, right, center, left. Again, once more, if your body feels right to do that, it's okay to do that. Come back to the center, sitting on the block. Breathe. Place your palms in the front. Shift the weight of your body into your hands. Straighten your legs. Release the back of your head down. Plus, if you look back, you're looking at your block possibly, right? Now take one block and place it in line with your right toes. Could be the second or the third toe. Place your left hand on the hips. So it's like doing Uttanasana in one direction. So we are trying to move towards Ardha Chandrasana. Let's bend both your knees, shift the weight of the body into the right heel, walk the block forward, and lift one leg up. It does not have to be all the way up, but what is important here is for you to shift the weight into the right hand and the right heel. Lift the back leg up. Keep the right knee flexed and look down. Straighten the back leg, something we did previously in the sitting position. Now let's bend the left knee and straighten. Bend and extend. Bend and extend. One more cycle. Flex and extend. Bend the knees. Let's bring the left leg down. Straighten both the legs. Breathe. If you need to sit, please feel free to sit. I'm going to continue exploring on my left side. I have the block in line with the left, second, or the third toe class. I place my right hand on the hips. Let's bend both the knees, move the block slightly forward, shift the weight in between the left leg and the left arm, and then raise your right leg up. You can keep the left knee flexed, bent. It does not have to be high up. Yeah, too high up. Yeah. Now let's bend the right knee and extend. Bend the right knee and extend, sort of waking up your right buttock muscle. Flex, continue in your own pace, class. One more cycle. Extending. Then let's bring the legs down. Come back to the center. Relax your arms and your head. Now let's stack the block one on top of the other and sit on the block for your Malasana. Close your eyes for a while. Let's take a few who breaths here. Now let's connect Malasana to Ardha Chandrasana. All right. So I'm going to bring my legs slightly wider. Clasp my hands in front. Maybe you want to watch me do the first cycle. Also feel free to explore if you like to do it together. So I'm shifting the weight of my body into the heels, lift. From there, I'm going to pick the block with my right hand, shift the weight of the body. So I am extending the right arm. From there, mindfully shift the weight into the right arm and extend the left leg up. From there, bend the knees, coming down. Shift the block into the left hand. Shift the weight mindfully into the left, and then raise the right leg up. Flex the knees, coming down. Place the block back, and sit from Malasana to Ardha Chandrasana. All yours. Continue. So it's about being mindful of how you shift from low gravity to high gravity. So don't think of Ardha Chandrasana as the end pose, as a part of that journey. The entire movement is the journey. So we're not trying to reach Ardha Chandrasana and forget Malasana, or reach Malasana and forget Ardha Chandrasana. Slowing down, class, slowing down as you come. Yeah. Yeah, shift the weight into your hands, class. One more cycle. If you've completed both sides, let's just sit in Malasana and take a few who breaths. All right. Another exploration, but just before that, since you're sitting on the block, what I would like you to do is sort of lean back and lift your legs up off the floor and see how that feels. So you're contracting the psoas muscle, sort of a round boat pose, right? See how that feels. So I feel like, because my block is soft, I feel like I'm tipping over. So I'm going to scoot my buttock slightly forward and see how that feels. And some of you who have that foam block, you might be able to lift your arms up. But I feel because my blocks are soft, I'm not really able to find, the base is challenging me, in fact, more. Maybe that's something good, to not have a firm base, but I have a softer base here. So I'm contracting and squeezing and release. All right, a soft Navasana. Now we'll see where that fits. So let's come up to a standing position to release now, opening up the hips. Let's just raise one arm up and open up the left side of the hips. So widen the front of the left hips. Release. Raise the right arm up. Widen the front of the right hip. And release. So let's come to Malasana to Ardha Chandrasana from a standing position. Let's do this. You can watch me do this first class. Let's breathe in, raise your arms up. Raise your heels up. As you breathe out, we come down to your chair pose into Malasana. From that, shift, bring the weight of the hand, bring the right hand down, shift the weight of the body into the right arm, and then lift the left arm up. From there, bend, contract. Remember that contraction on the block. Shift, come down, shift the weight into the left hand, hold, and then extend. Bend, come back, raise your arms, lift the heels up, and come down with the heels. All right, let's try that. So it's not about the form, it's about the feeling of how you move from one space to another, from the legs to the arms. Continue, class. Slowing down. Important ingredient, slowing down. Try not to place your hands too far, Wingning. If you'd like to go for another cycle, feel free to do so. And if you feel that you need to back out, please feel free to back out. All right, if you've completed on both sides, let's go into recovery patterns. Let's prepare for Setu Bandhasana. But this time, if you have a chair or a couch or a block to place your heels on, I'm just going to show you what I mean is I have this couch here. So I'm going to place my heels on it and then do that. Because from there, we're going to go here, lifting the hips up. So if you don't have a couch or a chair, place a chair against the wall or on a mat so the chair doesn't topple over. Or you can have 2 blocks underneath your heels. So let's place your calf muscles on the chair first, or the couch. Who breathe. We've been upright for a long period of time. Now to lie on your back, notice how that feels to rest. And then bend your knees, bring your heels on the chair or the bolster of the couch. Press your heels down and slowly peel the spine off the floor, little by little. You begin to load into your shoulders and also fairly into the neck. Stay there with your hips up. Raise your arms above your head and then by the side of your ears. Rest your arms. Coming down. Come down with your shoulder blades first. Take a little pause. Come down with your mid back. Come down with your lower back. And then rest your calf muscles on the chair. Who breathe. Let's bring your arms, class, in line with your shoulders. Let's do another cycle of shoulder bridge. Place your heels on the chair. Press your heels down. Lift your hips up, peeling the spine off the floor little by little. Raise your arms up to the ceiling and then rest your arms by the side of your ears. Bring the shoulder blades down. Bring the mid back down. And bring the lower back down. Gently. Rest your legs. Arms on either sides of your shoulders. Full breathe. Notice your body, the bones surrendering to the floor. Can your mind follow your bones to the floor? Gently begin to sense your body in space. Move your toes and your fingers. And bring your feet together. And stretch your arms above your head, lengthening the sides of your body in your own way. Roll to any side. Stretch your legs as you roll to the side. And come to a seated position. We bring the palms in prayer position. May through this practice, we develop awareness, we develop mindfulness of where we are, an acceptance of what is, and give us the inner strength, the mind strength, not only the body strength. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you for joining this class and wishing you all a blessed day. And see you